From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
It certainly is, and I can tell you, next week we're going to get 33 degrees. Actually, it starts tomorrow.
Oh, great.
No, you have to get nearer to the microphone, otherwise it just won't work. And you can't nod on the radio, don't forget.
I'll try and remember that.
Right, thank you very much. This is Postcard from Poprad with a difference. The difference is there's 4 Wiltshires in the studio who can beat up a Leigh Banks quite easily. 4-1, that sounds like a good idea. I'm Eric Wiltshire at the base of the glorious Tattery Mountains. 33 degrees on the way. And, well, what can I tell you? Up to Poland tomorrow, but that's another story. Your alternative news programme, and we're so pleased. I'm going to change the rules now, because I'm so pleased. Welcoming back Rachel Brunsdon.
Woo! Yeah. Hello, thank you so much. I thank my mum and my dad and my lord and my budgie. And who do you thank when you're speeching? Stuff like that. Yeah, I have been missing, but I'm not anymore.
So you're not going to pay attention to anything we do today?
When have I ever?
Well, that's very true.
Let's not change tradition now.
No, let's not change a word. Not change a word.
I've been a bit ill, but I'm all right. I'm okay, except for I've turned into a gigantic hive. Well, my whole body is a hive. And I don't mean for bees.
No.
I mean, it's a big red blotch, and as I was saying before, there is calamine lotion where calamine lotion has no business being ever.
Uncle Dave says, woohoo! Rachel's back.
Hello, Uncle Dave. Bless.
Isn't that a nice thing to do?
It is nice. Thanks, Dave. I love Dave. Dave's always got lovely things to say to me.
Yeah,
not to you necessarily.
No, you know what he said to me, don't you?
Which time?
Well, this just now. He said to Caroline, Kaytie and Kyle, give your dad a hard time today.
I would say that's implied.
Really?
Beforehand, of course. You got your kids in the studio; they're going to be unmerciful, and I am all for it.
Come on.
Oh God! You need to get to anyway, we go to Spain. Viva España and Uncle Leigh.
Hello, everybody. How nice to see you. I'm really interested in this Caroline lotion that Rachel's wearing.
Caroline? Hang on. Is your age getting to you, dear boy?
Why?
You said you called it Caroline lotion.
It was a link to the fact that your daughter's there and she's wearing chamomile lotion. You don't have to analyse everything. Just
you know what? If it was Caroline lotion, my troubles would be all behind me by now.
Oh,
it's
but
true.
if you were wearing Caroline, you'd be arrested.
Well, that's very true.
Well, yeah, it's not the done thing.
No, it's not really, is it at all? Shall we get on with some news then?
All right,
go
then.
on.
I'm really sad about this one because I actually know of this guy and really respect him. John Hurd, the actor, has died at the age of 71. What a sad thing.
I know, I'm sad to about this too.
Me and Rach were just having a conversation about that his career seemed to die in the 1990s and nobody seems to know why. Did he do something wrong? What happened to him?
He became one of these
Recluse
character
fellas.
actors who was in, you know how in America they've got something called the Hallmark Channel and the Universal Channel where it's it's the please don't take my child from me even though I'm a drunken bipolar gambler, and it's always starring the same person. He became evil husband in a lot of these sort of productions. But I know that
Hollywood status, he suddenly all fell apart from him, didn't it? He was the big Kiss of a Spider Woman and all those kind of films, and then all of a sudden
Home Alone. It was Home Alone. He was one of the inept parents who should have been jailed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but if you think about it, guys, maybe he was like, now what was the song from the early 70s? Spirit in the Sky. Norman Greenbaum. Well, when Norman Greenbaum recorded that track, he made so much money that he decided to quit the music industry and go off and do other things like doing farming and things like that. And maybe John Hurd just got to the point where, hey up, I'm on so many TV channels with so many repeats, I can just go and be me and not have to work.
It wasn't,
He may have.
was it, Rach? It wasn't, was it? Something happened and Hollywood turned against him.
There was something did occur, and then he came not long ago. He was seen in some really significant drama, but there was this kind of abyss for a while in his career, which is really sad. A very talented man.
Yeah, but Eddie, it's really sad. He's dead. He's gone. He'll never be heard of again.
Oh no! How long did that take?
Yeah, I know. You can't make it up, can you?
Like Caroline Notion.
Caroline Lotion can't fix what ails you, old.
Yeah, right. Barbara Sinatra, that's the fourth wife of Frank Sinatra, has died at the grand old age of 90, which is never so bad.
Wow.
Not so bad at all.
Good. We move on. Now, I am very confused about this story because Leigh submitted it, and this is a lady called Mary Turner. Apparently she was a dinner lady, then a trade unionist, and she died at the age of 79, and I have never heard of her.
Well, not
Me neither.
People have. She was, well, what she became, she started life out as a dinner lady. She was one of these good old salt of the earth people who rose from the back streets of wherever she lived and rose to the top of being a trade unionist. And she ended up on Labour's National Executive Council. And chaired a lot of the meetings for the party. And she actually, what she did in her period between being a dinner lady and ending up at the head of the NEC, the Labour Council's NEC, she made it real that children, all pupils in infant schools got free hot lunches, got free meals for school children. Who she made that system work. One of the few things I would submit that the Labour Party ever got right.
Oh, let's not go there after this week. Have you seen Facebook going to meltdown?
No, what about?
Yeah.
They have, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it as well,
they have.
Caroline, yeah?
Yeah, it's that stupid guy.
What?
Was she just... What do you mean, what? Where have you been?
I've been in
Spain.
siestas.
You've been having siestas?
Yeah, loads of them.
Well,
Yeah,
what happens...
they're 16 hours at a stretch.
And in fact, I bought myself a Ford Siesta.
Right. Well, what happened was that Jeremy Corbyn was interviewed on the Andrew Marr show, which is a BBC political show, where he said, I never said we were going to give the students their money back for university, and I never said that was in the man. I don't know whether in or out of the manifesto.
He didn't say it.
But everybody thought he did.
Because he implied it, and in politics an implication is the same as a statement. The man's an idiot. He always has been an idiot, always will be an idiot.
And he looks really creepy.
And he looks like Catweasel.
Hang on, I'll tell you
Yeah,
what.
don't be mean to Catweasel. He looks like a predator.
No, you're quite right, Rachel. I'm very sorry, Catweasel.
Yeah, I think I'm going to move our communications microphone over because I don't think anybody can hear Caroline properly.
Sorry about that.
We'll do that, which will probably be better.
Come on, Caroline.
Hey.
This isn't your first rodeo. Come on.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're talking to that one,
Oh,
but
jeez.
then that one picks you up.
There's like a gazillion mics in here.
Right, a gazillion mics in it. And of course, then he went off to
Glastonbury, which was stupid.
Yeah.
and then
That was
all
dumb.
your age group decided he was a good egg.
Well, all of the idiots decided he was a good egg.
Ah,
Let's be honest. I didn't.
right.
Is he the kind of person you would want to greet in a creepy-looking alleyway?
No.
You'd want to run a mile.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, they're not boiled lollies. He doesn't have puppies in his van. Run away.
Exactly.
I have to say, these are the views of a guest of the radio show today, not necessarily the views of RTI, although they could be. But
Don't sue us.
did your friends buy into this sweeties he was giving out?
One very much so. She wanted me to vote Labour just because of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Even like my sister's age, like friends wanted to vote Labour, a lot of them. But me and my core friends, we knew that he was a bit of an idiot, to put it nicely.
All right.
So let's be honest. If you want everything to be free, the money has to come from somewhere, so it's not actually free, which is what he was kind of selling.
So you saw straight through it?
Yeah, because the money had to come from somewhere. Like,
True.
we'd get in debt again if we went with everything he was saying. Like, free childcare, free food for children in schools all the time. Where's this money coming from? Another loan?
Free air to breathe. That's
Exactly.
the worst.
Jeremy Corbyn is a squirmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's squirming over this because he didn't say it. No, he didn't say he was going to pay everybody's fees off. Nobody actually said he'd said that. He said he was going to sort it all out, and then he comes back and says, "Well, actually, I didn't realise how much it was going to cost, so we can't sort it all out."
Sorry about that. Yeah.
But remember also last week, Richard Branson proved that he lied. He'd made up for a publicity photograph the fact that he couldn't get a seat on the train, and he was seen sitting on a corridor. Branson proved that the seats were available, and he squirmed his way out of that, although he didn't squirm his way, he squirmed to try and get out of it. But I said, well, actually, what I meant was I couldn't get a seat with my wife. What a load of rubbish!
Yes, you think that would be a relief.
He's not doing very well this week, is he?
No.
He's an idiot, man. He's an idiot. He's a left-wing, trendy idiot, and he should be shot in his own duffel coat.
Gosh, that's rather extreme. And of course,
violence.
To make matters worse, his old mate, Lord Sugar, formerly Alan Sugar, he's told him to get lost as well.
Yes, everybody should tell him to get lost. The man's a fool.
Oh, whatever.
He's a bit of a menace. He's a nuisance.
This is going to upset. We move on because I'm going to upset my son now, who's sitting right behind me, so I've got to be careful. A driver narrowly escaped after crashing his £200,000 Ferrari. Right, he bought a new Ferrari. Ready? Yeah. He had it for 60 minutes. He then wrote it off, and it burst into flames. How much? Can anybody work that out for me?
Yeah, you're a moron.
£200,000 he spends on a new car. He has it for 60 minutes. So how many pounds a minute did he actually pay for that car?
30,000.
What, a minute?
That's an expensive minute.
Or 3,000 a minute.
3,000 is more.
What a moron. Seriously, what an absolute gold-plated, diamond-studded card-carrying moron this guy is. And I couldn't, for one, be more pleased with mangled cars. It's just obscene, the amount of money people pay for cars. Good grief, don't even get me started. But when I heard it had ended badly, I laughed. Gosh, I laughed. I laughed so hard, there was almost a moment.
I can say no more. They haven't actually said how the accident was caused yet.
Probably reckless
caused
driving.
by a moron. It was caused by being a moron.
Exactly.
But the police have described the accident as a miracle escape because the man got out with just bruises. And I've seen a picture of the car. It is burnt to nothing. There is nothing humanly possible you could gain from that car, apart from if you were an Andy Warhol artist, you could probably make something out of it, and everybody run around.
Stop it!
What an idea!
What a nasty, bitchy thing to say.
What?
A friend of ours, who shall remain nameless, in a nameless city, bought a very expensive nameless car, left it out there after he just got it, and within 30 minutes it had been nicked.
No.
You know about it?
Oh, that's terrible. We move on, boys and girls, because we've got so much to get through this week, and quite heavy stories, a lot of these. There's quite a spat going on because the police in London have advised people that lived in the Grenfell apartment block that there is going to be corporate manslaughter charges going through. Now, to make that clear to everybody, when it's corporate, it's different to personal liability. So if it's a corporate thing, it means they can fine the organisations, but the actual people there don't end up going to prison because that's a different set of rules. And it is very complicated. But the point is, even if they take the organisations to court and they are fined what could be potentially something around, £500,000. The trouble is, it's like the people that have lost are then going to pay another £500,000 to get the organisations fined, which goes into the exchequer. So the money goes sloshing around everywhere and goes up nowhere, and so nobody wins. It's a very silly situation, and the trouble is there's so much of this going on, and people are saying they want to get people for gross negligence. Now, the trouble with that is in the housing association, there were people who lived in the flats that were part of the housing association as well. So whichever way you look at it, it's not going very well. Because
it's got wider implications, hasn't it?
Yeah.
This isn't just about Grenfell Tower. This is about the other 60 or 120, depending on which figures you accept as right. Buildings within the country that have been have got this the same problem, and it opens the doors. Basically what we're looking at is getting at the truth. Once we've got to the truth, it doesn't really matter where that money goes. Yeah, it's a bit awkward for people, but it then allows people to start doing the right thing, and this has to be done to get to the truth first.
I agree with you, Leigh, because I think the problem is everybody's running around saying, "Oh, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault," trying to lay blame on everybody and get political brownie points out of it.
Yeah.
When in truth, it makes no difference whatsoever, because the people that need help are the ones that lost their houses, or their residents, because they're flats. And, all this autopsy stuff about, we'll find them this and we'll do that and we'll do the other. That doesn't cure the big problem, which is get rid of the stuff that catches on fire, replace it with fire retardant stuff, and get things organised. Now, that's the logical thing to do. But
they also need to look into how, the people, especially at the top of big flats, get out of a building if it is on fire. Because a lot of people were told to stay within the flat when they thought it was finished and under control, and a lot died because they stayed inside the flat.
Yeah, they do need fire escapes like New York, but how do you do it?
Well, apparently you build them one step at a time, and they ascend up the side of the building, and then bada bing, bada boom, there you get.
Exactly. It might not look good, but it's going to save a lot of lives.
You can't put it on this size of buildings. You don't have a stairway down the side of Trump Tower, for instance.
Right.
It's got to be an internal system. Nothing works. All the things that were there to create safety didn't appear to have worked at the time, and that's what it's all about. The cladding is the thing that caused the problem, but the problem is far deeper than that.
Whoa! Hold your water. Whoa. Well, I'm still waiting for the final outcome of what caused the fire. Because that's the key thing, that if the bloke, allegedly, this bloke had a fridge into an extension cord with other stuff on it, blah, 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 my brain goes into meltdown and goes, hang on, who would do that and why? Because that is going to cause a fire if you just coil the extension cord up behind the fridge. It can catch fire. Now, I wouldn't expect the tenant to know that, but you should inform the tenants about that to make sure the other tenants are safe. So it could, now I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it isn't, but it could be that the fire was caused by somebody actually using electricity inappropriately. And if that's the case, you need to start there to then train people not to do it, because it can happen in normal houses as well. You've got to get the message out.
That's not what caused the deaths of the people. That might have been the catalyst of what caused the fire. But it was the way the building was built and everything else that caused the deaths. And that's the thing. The fact that somewhere else in the country somebody else could have coiled up a wire and another tower block goes up, you can't keep blaming the bloke who coiled his wire up and say it's him who's killing all these people.
No, you can't. I agree with you.
No, it's the buildings that are killing the people, and that's what needs to be investigated.
Right. Okay. Let me give you a perfect example, Leigh. Now, where I live, and horrifically, the apartment next to me was absolutely gutted by fire. Absolutely destroyed. Our place was not even damaged by smoke coming through, because the building was built properly. Now, I
rest my case with you.
Now, if you can do that, job done. The trouble is that the problems it causes the other tenants or other owners of these properties is such that I had to have an argument with the fire officer just to go wandering in to check everything, and I didn't need that at all. But the point is, when we found out what the problem was, the person next door was found to be at fault, he quite rightly said, I didn't know it would do that. So I sat down and explained it to him. Not nastily, just nicely. So when the apartment was completely rebuilt, he actually made sure that he didn't have the electricity done properly. Badly. He did it properly.
But this is public education. This isn't what killed people. That was the catalyst of what caused the fire.
Right?
If the buildings had been built properly, the fire wouldn't have done what it did.
But if there wasn't a fire in the first place, there wouldn't have been a fire.
Yeah, but it's still been
the zinc they found in that gal, and it's everywhere. It's here in Melbourne. It's everywhere.
Yep.
The zinc they found in that gal, you might as well have just stuck a match to it with a great big petrol bomb.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with both sides. But what I'm saying is,
it's like saying, when you get a catastrophic failure on in a car, and the driver loses control and kills a load of school kids outside of school, it's his fault, not the car's fault. Of course, it's the car's fault. The car had a catastrophic failure of one of its components.
Yeah, but the driver wasn't responsible for that that catastrophic failure. Whereas
I think it's really wrong to accuse a man who made...
No, I'm not accusing him, Lee. What I'm saying is, if you instruct the public properly to not do daft things...
Yeah, public education, I'm completely behind you on.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to do daft things. Everybody does daft things. Yeah. Even many people in the world believe the rules don't apply to them.
That's true.
If you remember when the story first broke, the chap... who had the flat where the fire started, was interviewed. And the man was devastated. And he did everything he could within his own power to try and rescue people, to get people out of the building. He ran around the building saying it's on fire. If it's proved that this man...
I don't want it to be proven, Lee. I don't want him to be found guilty or innocent. No, it's irrelevant. No. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, I agree.
What's relevant?
I think even if it is his fault, he's done his time, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly.
And he will for the rest of his life.
But I would say to people, and I bet this applies to many people listening now, that the first thing we did when we moved into our apartment was I bought 2 fire extinguishers. First thing I do.
But we're just really, 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 really irresponsible.
Well, it just makes logical sense to me. That
of course it does.
You're protecting yourself. Don't worry about insurance and all the rest of it. Just have a little bit of...
Well, do a little bit. We beseech you not to be that reckless.
Well, no. But,
oh, my goodness, send now all the hate mail to Eric and insurance agents are going to be after you, mate.
Yeah, right. But, don't run extension cords coiled up under your sofa because they will catch fire. And don't do it. And if you're not sure about electricity, ask somebody to come and have a look for you. Or put a second plug in so you've got extra. You don't need extension cords. It's very easy.
I think we're diminishing the import of this story, though.
Well, I'm not. No, I'm not. I would love for something to come out of this story that could be a positive legacy for normal people, not the construction industry, just normal people learning.
I understand. I think you're right. You're absolutely right. But I think the ramifications of this particular presentation of this story, that what's being said at the moment about it, is far more reaching. This goes across the country, not only across the country, it goes across the world.
Yeah.
It does.
And whatever was the catalyst of this fire is something that ultimately, yes, we need to educate the public on all sorts of things. We need to educate the public on the way that they drive. Driving in Britain and in Spain is absolutely horrendous. It's like the whole of the Western world has forgotten how to drive. Let's re-educate people on how to drive because they keep killing people because they're idiots. And let's make everybody aware of it. I controlled it. And I agree with you.
Yep. Are we, stop it. Stop it. Go on, Caroline, what was your point?
I was going to...
Like being a schoolboy.
Yeah, stop it. Caroline was going to make a serious point. Off you go.
Okay, so I think that I agree with you, Leigh, that something has to come from it. But I think we really need to look, the government needs to look about how fire escapes should happen. And because they knew that the building was at risk. It was assessed years before that there was a high risk of it going on fire. And if it did go on fire, a lot of devastation would happen.
Absolutely.
So they were aware, and they did absolutely nothing to prevent it, to do anything, even removing the cladding, which they've done in several other buildings since then. But we need to remember that, women were throwing their babies from the actual building as it was on fire just to try and save their life. And loads of people have died. People are still missing from the fire, so they're presumed dead now. And people are still in hospital as well. So it's ridiculous how much loss and devastation has happened. So we need to look as a nation how to make buildings safer, especially big tower ones. So how are people going to escape?
Caroline, we know how to make them safer.
Yeah.
They're made safer all over the world.
Exactly.
In this case, and it hasn't been done in a lot of other cases, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Just like your dad, actually.
Oh, heck.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I am scared. I'm scared to bits. But no, actually, it just flashed up in my mind that what you're saying is right, Leigh.
Oh, no.
No, I'm agreeing with Leigh, because when the
First?
Oh, I need to call the ambulance again.
absolutely call 911. The fact is, when the apartment next to us went up, and it was right next door, the cladding did not catch on fire, although it was blackened and it was burnt, if you like, but not burnt. It was sort of singed, but it didn't actually catch on fire. And you know, Dave just actually messaged in and said this sort of stuff should be taught in schools to help them the kids understand, and it would actually be educational. And I have to agree with you, Dave, because, and I'll tell you for why. Years ago, we were driving in a car and we could smell burning. And unfortunately, there was an oil fire under the bonnet of the car.
It was burning in your car. I had burning in my car the other night too.
It's not nice.
Was his name Burning?
But
my
luckily,
mum was Mr. Burning. He was just not.
Yeah, I know. But luckily, I knew what to do, and I was able to put the fire out rather than wreck the car. Cleaned the problem up, and we drove very carefully to the next place of safety. But you know, we knew what to do, and people are not doing this. You know, fire marshals are taught how to look after buildings. Now, if that was part of the general education, then life would be different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it could, I'm not saying it would, it could help. It could be an absolute miracle and save some lives. And that would have been a good thing.
Jeremy Corbyn will pay for it.
Oh.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, boys and girls, I'm going to take an early break because the next subject is going to be very difficult. And so I warn you in advance, and yes, Dave, most of it is common sense. So I warn you in advance. We will be back in a couple of minutes after we've taken the break, and this, as I say, is going to be rather tough.
From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
This is an appeal that I simply wish I didn't have to make. In this day and age, how is it possible that 1,400 children will die today from dirty water? That children like Elodie have to drink dirty water from rivers and swamps, risking their lives. Right now, you can help save a child's life. Text the word water to 70080 to give WaterAid £3. WaterAid has the expertise to install pipes, pumps and taps that will bring clean water to children at risk. They just need your support. In the next minute, dirty water will kill another child like Elodie. So please, don't wait to save a child's life. Text WATER to 70080 now to give WaterAid £3. Thank you.
If your dream holiday is 2 hours from the UK, perfect for children and teenagers, young couples and the older visitor, ideal for the physically active and for those who just want to unwind. Aqua City is the destination for you. Described by the Travel Channel as the place that will soon be on everybody's lips, be ahead of the crowd and the envy of your friends, but still enjoy a home from home. Come to Aqua City Poprad, the world's leading green resort.
From the heart of Europe to the world, RTI.
Welcome back to part 2 of Postcard from Poprad with the entire crazy gang in here today. At the count of 3, we'll go woo-hoo. At the count of 3, they'll all go woo-hoo. 1, 2, 3.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I knew it was going to be like that. That's Kyle, Kaytie and Caroline is in the hot seat with me, Eric, Leigh and Rach on the other end of the line. It's lovely how all this stuff's worked. And the message is, people just need to focus, people. That's a good idea. I kind of like that idea intently. We're going to move on to the very difficult subject, and I don't quite know how to approach it, to be very honest. Poor Charlie Gard's parents are... they've lost their last battle in the High Court, which I have to say was probably the right thing. And their son is going to a hospice where his life support equipment will be removed. And young Charlie will go to a lot better place, I'm sure of that, than he is in now. But it just seems to have been such a horrific battle all the way through, yeah?
Yeah, completely. It's just horrible. It was a long battle for the parents, and now they're knowing that as soon as he goes to the hospice, within an hour or so, he will have died. It's just awful.
Rach?
Yes?
Your comments?
I don't have this story on my run, and I don't know what you talk. I don't know this person. So I have nothing to add.
It's on your list, really.
It's there, yeah.
Have we jumped backwards and forwards? Is there? I don't know who this is anyway. But
well, young.
I'll let you guys take it.
Okay, all right, Rach. Charlie Gard was a little baby that actually got a terrible illness later on a few months after he was born. And since then, the Great Ormond Street Hospital have kept him going on life support. He's so badly brain damaged now because of the illness that without life support he would have died several months ago. What then transpired is some American doctors said, we think we can help. Unfortunately, this is my opinion, because of all the legal ramifications of people having fights left, right and centre, what happened was the American doctors came over way too late, and it was too late to save the little boy who's 11 months old. Had they come in a few months before then, you never know your luck. You're right. I do have it here. I apologise for that. Yeah, that's... you know what? These stories are often a very slippery slope, aren't they? We're talking about it here in Australia at the moment. It's just really pertinent that it comes up. We're talking about our Premier, Daniel Andrews, who is a colossal Jeremy Corbyn, by the way. He's putting something on the table about dignity in death. That's right. Yeah, I saw that on the TV actually.
Yeah. So there's a slippery slope. People feel very strongly one way or the other about these things, but gosh, this just seems to be, can't we put everybody out of their misery kind of a feel to it. There's so much fighting going on. If there hadn't been all the bureaucracy, could the American doctors have been out? So many questions.
Yeah, but you can never recreate it to know the answer, can you?
Oh, you don't want it either. The parents have been asking just for one more week, because it's his first birthday next week, and they wanted to celebrate that as well. So it's a week before his first birthday. They're obviously very devastated.
Got that.
Yeah, because he has no brain function at all now, so he doesn't feel, he doesn't know what's going on. So the life machine is the only reason he's alive at the moment. And the parents just wanted one more week, which is just awful that they can't have that.
I think that's really disgusting. It's like, this is their child. They should be able to say, people should be falling all over themselves to accommodate these people, knowing what they're going through. They should be falling all over themselves, trying to give them that last bit of peace.
This is the argument. The courts have decided that this child should die. The parents wanted the child to live. The fight became who has more control over the life of a child. The British judicial system, supported by the medical profession, or the parents who wanted to keep this child alive and to love him and to care for him. The iniquity of what's happened now is that they have been told that the child has to go into a hospice where within a very short period his life support system will be switched off so he dies. The parents wanted to take their child home to their own home where he could die with them. Yeah. The court said, and the the medical profession said, he can't be taken there because we would not be able to get the life support system through the door to take it in there and switch it off. That is the absolute kernel and shame of this story. Yeah. The courts, that Britain has decided beyond the means and power of these parents who obviously care and have destroyed their own lives, their own physical health to fight for him. They've decided that they have no say in whether their child survives and how and when he dies.
Do you know what? It should never have been a fight to begin with.
No,
exactly.
But do you know what, Leigh? You have seriously just raised a very good point. That if the child's going to a hospice to have the life support switched off, what's the difference between that and switching it off in the ambulance outside the home?
Either way, they have to remove the child. They have to take him to a hospice, which is leaving the hospital, which is their argument about the life support. Yeah, so they're saying they can't remove the life support from the hospital, but how are they going to get him to a hospice then with the life support? So therefore it's an absolutely invalid comment that they're making, that he can't go home to his own little bedroom in his own home with his own parents and family around him. He has to go to a new strange place where his parents won't know anyone there. Yes, they'll be loving the staff there and everything, but it's not the same, is it?
It's not home.
No, exactly.
No. And I'd be thinking of I mean, you know, this is just me being absolutely hypothetical. But if it were me and my child, I'd be seriously considering figuring out how nefarious ways to make this happen, legal or not.
That's what's going through my brain. I'm trying to figure out a way of saying it without getting into trouble. But
let's take into consideration what the Great Ormond Street Hospital have just said, though. And they've said, sadly, as the judge has now ruled, there is simply no way that Charlie, a patient with such severe and complex needs, can spend any significant time outside of an intensive care environment safely. The risk of an unplanned and chaotic end to Charlie's life is an unthinkable outcome for all concerned and would rob his parents of precious last moments with him.
What a load of rubbish. You get a nurse to go with you, of course. Nurses that are that they use in America, for example, they're a bunch of euthanasia trained nurses. That's their function, to make sure end of life is peaceful, quiet, calm, and as lovely as possible, given the fact that it's end of life. And that's what you do. You send the kid home with his parents and nurses that are capable of doing these things without it being chaotic and scary and putting all this pressure on the hospital. Shame on you. Shame
Absolutely.
on you.
Just say what Connie Yates has said. That this is Charlie's mother. She just said, we just want some peace with our son. No hospital, no lawyers, no courts, no media. Just quality time with Charlie, away from everything, to say goodbye to him in the most loving way. And we have been denied this.
That's how he came into the world, and that is how he should exit it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It just
more power to Connie Yates and Chris Gard.
Yeah, good luck to you. Good luck to you guys. And the only thing I can say to the parents now is that the way it's when Charlie goes, which he will, he's going to be in a much, much better place than he is now. Absolutely,
he's going to be one of the coolest angels ever.
Absolutely, he's going to be one of the coolest angels ever. And we leave it there. All petrol and diesel cars will be banned from 2040. I probably won't give a damn by then.
You might give a damn if you're in Britain next week.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care. The technology's not been sorted out. If they just calm down a bit on some of the vehicles that are used, the oil would last a lot longer, but they waste as much as they ordinarily use. I'm so angry.
It's all happening.
I am so angry about this because they don't know what they're talking about half the time. They really don't. I mean,
half the time it's very generous, Uncle Eric.
Well, that's true, but you've got okay, look, you've got a diesel car. You go and...
I have two.
Right, you got two. Now, you can run those on...
2 diesels?
Yeah. Oh.
Well, hello, sailor.
Anyway,
he's got 2 diesels.
yeah, and as I've just been corrected by Dave, in 2040 it's the selling of new petrol and diesel cars. Now the fact is that if they really wanted to save a load of emissions, oil problems, yada yada yada, with diesel cars, they would cut the cost of making biofuel available to people like Leigh with 2 diesels, because biofuel is what it says it is. It's bio-friendly. You know, it grows from the ground. It's a plant that they turn into fuel.
Don't they cook your chips in it or something?
Yep.
Yeah, which is
You can do.
lovely.
I've got a friend who actually goes around
delicious.
shops and gets all the oil and sticks it in his car and runs it. I can't name him. And come and get me coppers. I will never tell you who it is.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, go on.
But I mean, the truth is, you can pay legitimately the extra levy for using, you know, a car that you drive down your high street with the lovely smell of fish and chips. What could be better?
Nothing. Yeah, no, there's one thing that could be better if it could somehow have the aroma of chocolate.
I agree with that.
Yes, run it on chocolate. That
Why not?
sounds-
Yes.
Yeah.
We were going to discuss the.
Wait. What?
What?
I have to say something on this because this government pledge to ban diesel and petrol vehicles in 23 years' time is actually such a revolution. It's the biggest revolution since Henry Ford. But it's not based on reality. The fact is that we are going through Brexit, which is going to cost us millions, billions and billions of pounds. We're coming out of the age of austerity. And what better way to be able to repack our coffers with dosh than to charge people who followed what the previous government said and bought diesel cars. Diesel tax is going to go up. The white van man is going to be screwed left, right and centre. But do you know what they're not banning? They're not banning diesel trains or diesel buses.
No, but diesel trains and buses are more efficient than cars anyway. But there is one point that
you stand next to them in Britain.
yeah, but there is one point that you haven't raised yet, Uncle Leigh.
Oh.
Now, unless the UK, and you correct me if I'm wrong, unless the UK has changed to turbines, to wave sea power, yada yada yada, because the nuclear power's not there. It means you're going to be using coal fire generators to make the electricity, to make the electric cars work, which is not exactly eco-friendly, is it?
Absolutely not. And if you read the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com, the first mention, you will see there that it tells you that actually we've been trying to build Hinkley Point nuclear power station for 11 years and we've still got 17 years left to go. We can't do this. It's a way of screwing the motorists to the wall and taking all the money off them.
We've had a comment in,
minutes,
Leigh, that you're about to explode, so please stay away from any cars or vehicles or open gas sources.
42 minutes that was, you guys. 42.
Yeah, 42
That
for
was
the show.
Caroline. That's what you said, Caroline. So sorry.
I said it sounds like you're about to explode. Please stay away from any gas sources, cars,
And he did quite well, actually. The first shameless plug at 42 minutes. He's very good.
Very good.
But you know what they're suggesting we do?
What?
They're saying that the best, one of the things we can do as well, we'll take up all the sleeping policemen. Yeah, because that makes a lot of stuff. And then you know what else we'll do? We'll give you cheap bus passes so you could go into town and not take your car. What a load of rubbish. This is disgusting.
He's getting all hot under his nether regions again, isn't he?
Yeah, but when he gets like this, you all have to remember it's not really an explosion. It's more like a piñata.
It is rather, isn't it? Yes. We'll watch him explode now, Rach. Madonna has accepted undisclosed amounts of damages for a serious invasion of privacy from the publishers of the Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Associated newspapers have agreed to pay the pop star's legal costs, plus damages for threatening the integrity of the singer's 2 adopted daughters. Now, I just wonder if it was a normal person and they went to court, if the same outcome would have happened.
Well, they
If a
wouldn't have
normal
cared.
person, nobody would be trying to take their photo in the first place. So
Yeah.
there you go.
That's right. Oh yes, if an ordinary person had been taken to court for taken the mail online to the court for it, yeah, of course it would. It's a complete break of that. They completely broke the law. They've actually stood up and said, "We're really sorry. We got it wrong. We made a mistake, and we didn't feel that it would actually do any great harm. It would not harm the children in any way. It wouldn't harm the children in any way. That's the truth." But they broke the law in Malawi and they broke the law in England. So really, they haven't got a leg to stand on, so they got to go.
Okay, we move on then. Trump's at it again, banning transgender people from joining the military. And there are... bad news here, he's going to be replacing a lot as well. Because if this thing goes through, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of transgender people already in the American military.
Because he said, this is the thing, he said all departments, so he's not talking about, the SEALs, he's not talking about, special ops. He's talking, yeah, they got this, they said, sorry, that was terrible. It's not just the specialist fields, it's everyone from, he's talking about getting rid of people from the JAG Corps, he's talking about getting rid of the office guy who looks after the paperclips for that particular division. He's lost his mind, but I've got to tell you, the best thing that happened to me today was my daughter posted a picture of Corporal Klinger in a pink frock holding his rifle. She said, "Sorry, sweetie, it's already been done. You're too late."
That's a great TV series. If you've never seen MASH, it's one of the best TV series ever. You should watch it. Ever.
We have the answer to it, though. If he gets rid of all the transgender people, and there's this big gap in the military forces in America, simplest thing to do, send in the village people, because they're really masculine.
Very true.
And the real ones are getting back together. The actual original cops.
They are.
Yeah, fantastic.
Good stuff. Dragon's Den has one of the guys they rejected, stormed out of the BBC and has now been offered £90 million for his businesses. And I kind of get why he was angry, and I kind of get why they didn't want to invest on both sides of the camp. Because this was all to do with a health thingy, health food meals, and I don't buy into health food meals. I just don't.
They're so big in the UK now, though. Every store has its own special healthy section. You can
organic this and that.
Yeah, exactly. So they would have made money really quickly from it, especially in the more like kind of richer areas of England as well. It's just all about healthy food. Being vegan is really popular, or starting to become more popular now as well. So they would have made loads of money and quite quickly. So it was quite stupid of them just to dismiss him.
I think this is another .com from the 90s, because everybody wanted to buy into the .coms, and then because these are all the big businesses of the future, and everybody invested, and the bubble burst, and all the .coms went bankrupt. Because everybody suddenly realised it was, to quote Leigh, a load of old rubbish.
Yeah. Do you know what we call this show in Australia, what the Australian version is called?
What?
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. I like it. I like it intensely. We move on. I just don't buy into all these health foods.
Some are good, though. Some taste nice. But
yeah, health food is a good thing. I have a healthy diet out here. I live on tapas, fruit and lager.
And rage.
That's not very, very healthy, is it? We need to clarify a couple of points because we use these things to communicate with you. Adobe has announced that it is going to axe its Flash player. Not this year. Don't go into meltdown on social media again. It's going to be in 2020. You've got 3 years to work out. They have a new player and stick it on your computer. And everything will just be marvellous. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
What they're taking?
The Flash player from Adobe.
The Flash player?
Yeah. They're going to stop you flashing, Leigh.
I was going to say I'll have to return.
No, it's going to be called the mediocre player.
Yeah. Oh, very good. There's been a hue and cry from the Anorak department because Microsoft has got they got into so much trouble from all the old computer people that use the original Paint software, which started off life on, I think, Windows 3.1, if I remember rightly.
Oh, it's awful.
Paint was cool, man.
It's cool, but you
it's
can't
awful.
do anything.
No.
Oh, it's terrible, but for its day, it was cool.
Yeah, but it's not cool now, is it?
Oh, no, it's complete rubbish now, but it was cool back in the day. Excuse me for having a moment of nostalgia.
Okay, you can do that. Lee has no idea what we're talking about.
And that painting, that can on top of your thingy bar in your computer thing.
Yeah.
It's like a paint, and you turn it on sideways, and all the paint comes out and ruins everything.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
But anyway, there's been such a hue and cry about it from the enthusiasts that Microsoft have announced they won't be scrapping paint for now.
But what do they even use it for? Just a bit of colouring in?
Well, that's all I can think of.
Colouring in. That's what you use it for, isn't it, Caroline?
They've not. No, because
so
enlightened folk such as Caroline and myself already have mindful adult colouring books.
Yes.
Exactly.
Do it manually.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more relaxing.
They're the best.
Yeah. We move on to squeeze some more in because I didn't even know this happened. But a father of three's nearly died after munching his way on cherry stones because he didn't know they have cyanide in them or a sort of kind of quasi cyanide. And when I saw this story, I went, "You're having a laugh. I'm forever swallowing stones from cherries."
But you don't matter if you swallow them. It's when you crunch them up like he did.
Have you seen?
Because he said they tasted nice.
Well, yeah.
Have you seen The Witches of Eastwick?
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember the Witches of Eastwick? The cherries were used as a weapon.
That's true.
What, did they crush them up, though?
No, they ate a lot of them, and then and the people that they were cursing were having to expel them from their bodies in various ways, mostly, orally.
Yes. And?
Orally?
And as I was just saying, cherries are the devil. We've seen it in the movies. It's
In
true.
which case, we will move on. Australia and Britain have pledged to strengthen their military, intelligence and trade ties as the UK prepares to exit from the European Union.
As soon as the Brexit thing came along, I said, this is good, really good for us.
Yes.
It's terrific for us. We've got free trade between your guys and our guys, and and because we know that you're not happy about it, you're struggling, we're going to still give you the free consultants should you need them.
Oh, don't.
But it will. Boris got on the telly and said to and Julie Bishop, our lovely Foreign Minister, everything that was really restricted by the EU all of a sudden opens up these enormous possibilities, which makes sense because basically everybody that lives in this country, other than me, has got a British accent. You've taken it over again. You might as well just have at it.
All right.
Really, it's terrible. It's just awful. No.
Okay, right, we move on.
Free trade agreement is huge.
Right, a Queensland senator. Now, Queensland's in Australia, if you didn't know that. And you should have known that because Rachel was always banging on about it.
It's where Trump thinks all his troops are.
Well, there's that. A senator was born in India to a Welsh father. At one point had British nationality, which he gave up to get Aussie passports only. And then there's a bit of a hue and cry between all the politicians. Why does this story sound so familiar? They do it everywhere. And so there's a big spat going on, Rach.
Yes, and there was another spat today about another guy. This one was even funnier. But in this particular case, if you are known to be a dual national at the time that you are elected, you can't be elected into a seat. It's just the rules.
All right.
So that's happening with this guy. This week they found another one, and this guy, what a dolt, poor sod. His mother filled out a form. This guy's 25 years old when his mother filled out this form, and he then received dual citizenship between Australia and Italy.
Right.
And he's saying, I didn't know my mother did that. You have to fill out your own. You've got to sign something in order to get a passport.
Well, yeah.
Great big moron. And now his seat's under question. All these people are coming along with these dual nationals, and they're not actually eligible to sit in Parliament.
And another one. Anyway, we move on because we've still got a few more to squeeze in, boys and girls. Khalil Eddi, who is actually a Lebanese-born Labour MP in Australia, has been prevented from entering the US, Rach. What's your PM doing about that?
Oh, probably raising hell. He's not a big fan of Trumpy Trump.
Is he not?
He's not a big fan at all. So I think, they're apparently getting it sorted out. But there was just as many people within that contingent who were going to have a difficult time or not. Like there was a whole bunch, and they were going into Vancouver or somewhere really benign. It wasn't even a US situation. Then they had to move. Their next part of their assignment. I think it was actually a course or a retreat or something they were doing. But as it stands now, we don't know. We don't know exactly where it stands now. But Julie Bishop, who's our lovely foreign minister, is raising all sorts of hell, and Malcolm Turnbull will be too, I'll wager.
Okay. Wanted to look for Leigh to help us out on. Families are waking up all over the place in the Riviera area of France, which is in the south, due to wildfires everywhere, Leigh.
Well, yeah, it's frightening. We've actually got more wildfires now in Spain as well. When we first arrived in Europe, we landed in Portugal, and there were the horrendous fires in Portugal, in which quite a few people died, including a child. We then set off to cross into Spain near the city of Huelva, and there were wildfires there. We then came over to the Costas, where we are now, and wildfires have broken out there, and now they're actually happening on the French Riviera. 10,000 people have been evacuated after wildfires swept through the Bons-les-Mimosas in southern France. Holidaymakers have described seeing pine trees going up like tinder, and now we've actually got them in Italy as well. The weather is so atrociously violent.
I don't know, Uncle Leigh. I don't know. There's a common denominator here that we're not.
That's what I was
thinking. There's a white elephant in the room.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
It really is, you know.
Oh.
Uncle Leigh, just step away from the matches. Just step away, just for a moment.
No, but when you think now we've got fires at this moment as we're speaking in Portugal, Italy, Croatia, Albania, Turkey, and they are raging. How do we cope with this? Australia can't cope with it. America can't cope with it. These have become a fact of life. They've always been a fact of life, even in Slovakia at times.
Yeah.
But now the whole
We cope with it.
is going up in flames.
But it's not, Leigh.
It's
It's
just so
just
much of it.
normal.
It's
Not normal for all those countries to be on fire.
It depends if there's somebody deliberately lit them, of course.
That's different.
But lightning strikes and things like that, then yeah. But I think Australia copes actually remarkably well because it's something that we're so very used to.
Yeah, true.
We just do what we got to do, and you accept at that point that it's going to get out of control. You accept at that point that there is going to be a loss of property and potentially a loss of life, and you have to go into it with a whole notion of acceptance before you can even start.
How does that affect insurance, property insurance?
Well, that's the thing. They've changed a lot of the rules with building. Robbie and I have been looking into this because we're looking at buying a new block in a high fire area, and you are allowed to now clear land X amount of metres around your house. You also get restricted with the materials that you can build your house with. So you're looking like at a colour bond instead of building a log cabin, for example.
Yeah.
And every time this happens, they just morph. Same with our flooding. They just morph the insurance rules so that nobody gets crucified. And poor old insurance companies. Did I actually just say that?
Yes.
That they don't go bankrupt, but everything just morphs into the next stage because every year it's different and every year it's more severe. And we just accept the fact that we live in a place where the weather is really, really severe.
Okay, we move on very quickly because we've got to get these last little bits in. And first of all, it's Rachel. What are you up to this weekend, Rach?
Not a whole lot. I'm still a gigantic hive, and it's actually become a bit of a bore. But I am, because you know me, I love to put on a good feed. I'm cooking a slow 2-hour pork belly. Oh. Cooking that tomorrow night for my brother and his wife and their little kids. And then on Sunday I plan to do more of this dunking around. I've still got 3 weeks holiday off work, so I'm taking it very easy at the moment, gents.
Okay, there you go. 3 weeks.
And ladies.
And ladies. So it's time to say goodbye, Rach.
Goodbye, Rach.
And Leigh...
Oh, Caroline, call me for coffee when I get to London.
Oh, dude, that'd be so cool. Oh, my goodness.
All right, mate.
Leigh, because they've been waffling on, there's only one thing you can do.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. That was Postcard from Poprad. We've now got to say goodbye to the crew. Bye crew!
Bye!
That was so energetic. Not. That was Postcard from Poprad. We've got Steve Bishop following us here today, as we do every day, even if you're listening to the repeat. He's still Steve Bishop after us. Funny that. This is Radio Tatras International, and we just got to say thank you to Dave for sorting all of our bits and pieces out, as he corrects me on a regular basis. But there again, he's done that for years, right the way back to Radio Cracker. Would you believe? Radio Cracker. That was Mr. Rhodes when I first met him. And the pictures on Facebook are just a fib, really, because it's 7 years. And Dave says, bye. And I'm going to say, bye.
The coolest station online.
Yeah. Hi there, this is your Royal Ruler on RTI. We're live and in colour.
RTI.
That's us.
Because we play
This.
RTI.
You're never more than a minute away from the music on RTI.